When shelves emptied during the last shortage, Mark thought he was prepared. But within 48 hours, the very items he had stockpiled turned him into the most sought-after man on his block, and not in a good way. Neighbors, strangers, even desperate friends started showing up at his door. The truth is, certain products don't just keep you alive in a crisis, they paint a target on your back. Today, I'm revealing 8 everyday items that could make you the center of unwanted attention when the next shortage hits, and how to protect them before anyone knows you have them. Before we dive in, make sure you hit subscribe and turn on the bell, because in a crisis, the information you have could be just as valuable as the supplies you're protecting. Number 1. Generator. When a crisis hits and the power grid goes down, a generator instantly turns from a nice-to-have into a survival essential. Whether it's a natural disaster, a nationwide blackout, or a supply chain collapse, the ability to produce your own electricity means you can keep food from spoiling, power critical medical devices, run lights at night, and even charge communication gear when everything else is dead. The truth is, during extended outages, people without power are forced to make dangerous choices, abandoning their homes, burning unsafe fuels indoors, or relying on strangers for help. A generator gives you independence, safety, and control over your own survival. The most practical choice for most households is a portable gasoline or dual-fuel generator. They're compact, relatively affordable, and capable of running multiple appliances at once. Dual-fuel models, which can run on both gasoline and propane, offer an even greater advantage because fuel flexibility becomes critical in a shortage. If you already own one, regular maintenance is key. Run it every few months, keep oil topped up, and store enough fuel to run it for at least a week. In a crisis, gas stations are often closed or drained within hours, so your stored supply is your lifeline. Safety is equally important. Generators should always be run outdoors to prevent carbon monoxide poisoning, and cords should be rated for outdoor use to avoid fire hazards. Investing in a weatherproof cover or shed will keep your generator ready year-round without rust or damage. In a shortage, a working generator can be as valuable as gold not only for your own household, but as a potential barter item. When others are left in the dark, the person with the power becomes the most resourceful, self-reliant, and secure in the neighborhood. In any long-term crisis, that advantage could mean everything. Number 2. Water containers. When disaster strikes, clean drinking water is the very first resource to vanish, and without it, survival quickly becomes a ticking clock. Experts agree that you need at least 1 gallon per person, per day, and yet most households don't have even a fraction of that stored. This is where durable, high-capacity water containers can mean the difference between staying safe at home or being forced to risk exposure while searching for supplies. In a shortage, people scramble for bottled water, but shelves empty in hours. Those with filled containers at home aren't part of that desperate race. They're already secure. The smartest choice is a combination of large, stationary containers and smaller, portable ones. Large containers like 5 to 55-gallon drums are perfect for long-term storage in a cool, dark space. Smaller jugs or collapsible containers make it easy to transport water if you need to leave home or share with a neighbor in need. Food-grade plastic is the standard, but stainless steel options add durability and protect against chemical leaching. Before filling, clean your containers with a mild bleach solution to prevent bacteria growth, then rinse thoroughly. Use filtered or treated water whenever possible. For long-term storage, adding a small amount of water preservative can extend freshness for up to 5 years. Rotate your stored water every 6 to 12 months to ensure it remains safe to drink. Water containers aren't just for drinking, they're critical for cooking, cleaning, and even sanitation during emergencies. Without a safe reserve, you'll be forced to choose between using dirty water or going without. In a crisis, even water from your tap can become unsafe due to contamination from broken mains, sewage backups, or chemical leaks. In a true shortage, water becomes more valuable than cash. People will trade food, fuel, and supplies just for a few clean liters. By securing your own supply now, you're protecting your family from one of the most immediate and dangerous threats in any disaster. And the peace of mind that comes from knowing you won't be caught unprepared is worth far more than the small cost of proper storage. Number 3. Power bank. When the grid goes down, your lifeline to information, navigation, and emergency communication can disappear in seconds. Phones, radios, flashlights, so many of our essential tools run on batteries, and without power, they're useless. A reliable power bank isn't just a convenience in a crisis, it's your backup link to the outside world when everything else goes dark. The right power bank can keep your phone running long enough to make critical calls, access maps, check weather alerts, and even stay connected to loved ones. In a true shortage or disaster, information is as valuable as food and water. Whether you need to know where supplies are being distributed or if a dangerous storm is moving in, having a charged device can make all the difference. Look for a power bank with high capacity measured in milliamp hours mAh to ensure it can recharge your phone multiple times. A 20,000 milliamp hour model can typically charge most smartphones 4 to 6 times before needing a recharge itself. Dual or triple USB outputs allow you to power multiple devices at once, which is especially useful if you're supporting family members. Durability matters too. A rugged, shock-resistant, and water-resistant casing ensures your power bank will survive being tossed in a go bag or exposed to the elements. In extended outages, solar-compatible models can recharge using the sun, providing virtually unlimited power as long as you have daylight. Even a small foldable solar panel paired with your power bank can extend your emergency readiness by days or even weeks. Before a crisis, make sure your power bank is fully charged and stored in a safe, cool place. Keep a short charging cable with it so you're not scrambling for accessories when time is critical. During an outage, conserve power by switching devices to battery saver mode, dimming screens, and limiting unnecessary use. In a real shortage, electricity becomes a high-demand, low-supply resource. People will line up for hours at charging stations or offer to trade valuable supplies just for a little power. With your own power bank, you're not only securing your independence, you're also gaining a powerful bartering tool that could earn you food, water, or other essentials. Investing in one now means you'll never be left powerless when it matters most. Number 4. Propane. When disaster strikes and the grid goes down, propane becomes one of the most valuable and versatile fuels you can have on hand. It's clean-burning, stores for years without degrading, and works with a wide variety of essential survival gear from camp stoves and portable heaters to lanterns and even some refrigerators. In a true shortage scenario, where electricity is gone and gasoline is scarce, propane can keep you cooking, warm and safe far longer than most other fuel sources. One of propane's biggest advantages is its shelf life. Unlike gasoline, which can go bad in months without stabilizers, sealed propane tanks can sit for decades and still be as effective as the day you bought them. This makes it perfect for long-term preparedness. You can store small 1-pound cylinders for camping gear or larger 2,100-pound tanks for home and off-grid setups. The portability of the smaller tanks means you can easily transport them if you have to evacuate, and they fit directly into most portable stoves and grills without extra adapters. Cooking is often the first concern after a blackout. Without propane, you may find yourself unable to boil water, prepare shelf-stable food, or sterilize utensils. But with a single 20-pound tank, you can run a standard 2-burner camping stove for several weeks if you use it carefully. The same fuel can also power portable heaters designed for indoor use critical in cold weather emergencies when hypothermia becomes a threat. Lighting is another benefit. Propane lanterns provide bright, reliable light without relying on fragile solar panels or batteries that may run out. For rural areas or long-term blackouts, propane refrigerators and freezers can keep perishable food safe long after others have thrown theirs away. Safety should always be a priority. Store propane tanks outdoors in a shaded, well-ventilated area, away from heat sources. Inspect connections regularly, and use leak detection fluid when attaching hoses. In a crisis, these tanks can also become high-value barter items. When others are struggling to cook or stay warm, you'll have a resource people will trade almost anything for. In a true collapse or extended shortage, propane is more than just fuel, it's independence. It lets you maintain normal routines, avoid dangerous cold, and prepare hot, morale-boosting meals when everything else has failed. Stocking up now ensures that when the next outage hits, you won't be at the mercy of dwindling supplies or desperate crowds. You'll be self-reliant and ready. Number 5. Painkillers. In a crisis, injuries, headaches, muscle strains, and fevers aren't just inconveniences, they can become life-threatening if left untreated. That's why painkillers are one of the smartest, most practical supplies you can have stocked before any shortage hits. When hospitals are overwhelmed, pharmacies are closed, and every trip outside is risky, Having your own supply of over-the-counter pain relief can mean the difference between functioning through an emergency or being completely sidelined. The power of painkillers in survival situations isn't just about comfort, it's about mobility and decision-making. Imagine twisting your ankle while hauling supplies, or developing a pounding migraine when you still need to focus on navigation and safety. Without something to dull the pain, your reaction time slows, your endurance drops, and your overall resilience takes a hit. With the right pain relief, you stay sharp, capable, and ready to push forward when it matters most. There are 3 main types of painkillers worth stocking. Acetaminophen, like Tylenol, is excellent for fevers and general aches, especially for those who can't take certain anti-inflammatories. Ibuprofen, like Advil, or naproxen, like Aleve, not only help with pain but also reduce swelling and inflammation, making them ideal for sprains, strains, and overuse injuries. Aspirin, aside from pain relief, can also serve a role in preventing certain heart-related complications if advised by a doctor. Having all 3 on hand ensures you can target specific issues effectively. Small, travel-sized bottles are perfect for bug-out bags, while larger containers should be kept in your home supplies. Store them in a cool, dry place to maintain potency for as long as possible. While most painkillers remain effective past their expiration date, potency can drop over time, so rotate your stock regularly. In a true shortage, painkillers can also become powerful barter items. People will trade food, tools, or even fuel for the ability to relieve pain, especially parents with sick children or workers dealing with physically demanding survival tasks. A few tablets could mean a night of restful sleep for someone in agony, which in turn can make them far more willing to trade essentials. Of course, painkillers aren't a cure for everything. They should be used responsibly, following dosage guidelines to avoid side effects or long-term health issues. But as part of a well-rounded survival medical kit, they are invaluable. When you think about survival, you might picture food, water, or shelter first, but pain relief can be just as critical. Because in an emergency, staying strong, mobile, and clear-headed isn't optional, it's survival. And a well-stocked supply of painkillers ensures you'll be ready to meet that challenge head-on. Number 6. Butane gas canisters. When the power goes out and your electric stove becomes nothing more than a useless hunk of metal, most people panic, rummaging through cupboards, hoping to find some way to cook or heat water. That's when butane gas canisters can make the difference between a hot meal and going hungry. Compact, portable, and shelf-stable for years, these canisters are one of the smartest fuel sources you can stockpile, yet they're often overlooked until it's too late. In any disaster where natural gas lines are shut off or propane becomes impossible to find, butane steps in as the quiet hero that keeps your household running. One of the biggest advantages of butane is its incredible portability. A single canister is lightweight and small enough to store in any cabinet, emergency bin, or even inside a bug-out bag. Paired with a portable butane stove, you can cook complete meals anywhere, whether you're indoors during a blackout or outdoors during an evacuation. Unlike heavy propane tanks, these canisters can be carried by anyone, from kids to seniors, without risk of injury. And because butane burns clean, you won't have to deal with the strong chemical odors or black soot that cheaper fuel options often produce. The shelf life of sealed butane canisters can easily exceed a decade if stored in a cool, dry place. That means you can buy them once, stash them away, and forget about them until you need them. In a crisis, you can use them for far more than cooking. They can power portable heaters, lanterns, and even some camping coffee makers. If you've ever spent a freezing night without heat, you'll understand why a simple canister of fuel can feel like gold. And here's the real kicker. During shortages, these canisters vanish from store shelves faster than bottled water. People who ignored them before suddenly grab as many as they can find, driving up prices overnight. Having a dozen or more in storage not only ensures your family can keep eating and staying warm, but also gives you a valuable barter item when resources run dry. In an emergency, comfort and survival often come down to preparation. Butane gas canisters are proof that small, inexpensive items can have an outsized impact when the world goes dark. Stock them now, while they're still cheap and available, and you'll be the one cooking hot meals while others are scrambling for cold snacks. Number 7. Baby formula. When disaster strikes, food shortages hit the most vulnerable first, and nothing disappears faster than baby formula. For parents, this isn't just another grocery item, it's a lifeline. In a crisis, when supply chains break down and store shelves empty, finding formula can become impossible within days. And unlike adults, infants can't make do with whatever is available. They need a safe, consistent source of nutrition, or their health can decline rapidly. Baby formula is one of the most panic-driven purchases in emergencies. We saw it in recent years, one recall or factory shutdown, and suddenly parents were driving across state lines just to find a single can. In a prolonged shortage, it becomes one of the most valuable items you can have, both for your own family and as a powerful barter tool. Even people who don't have infants will trade heavily for it, whether to help relatives, neighbors, or to stock up for uncertain times. The key is storing it correctly and choosing varieties that offer the longest shelf life. Powdered formula, sealed in its original packaging, can often last up to 2 years if kept in a cool, dry place. Liquid formulas have a shorter lifespan, but they're ready to use and can be a lifesaver if you don't have access to clean water. If you can, keep a mix of both powdered for long-term storage and liquid for emergencies where sanitation is an issue. And it's not just about feeding a baby in normal conditions. In a crisis, clean water can be scarce, refrigeration unreliable, and regular grocery runs impossible. That's when having a stockpile of formula and the supplies to prepare it safely becomes critical. Alongside your formula, keep extra bottles, nipples, sterilizing tablets, and a dedicated container of bottled water. Here's the harsh truth. In the middle of a disaster, parents will pay any price, travel any distance, and trade almost anything for formula. That desperation makes it a high-value barter item, but also one you should protect. If your household doesn't need it, storing a few cans still makes sense. In a barter economy, formula can be worth more than cash, especially when currency loses value but survival essentials hold their worth. When the next shortage hits, whether from storms, transportation breakdowns, or supply chain chaos, baby formula will vanish almost instantly. If you've prepared ahead of time, you won't be part of the frantic scramble. You'll be the one calmly feeding your child, knowing you've secured one of the most irreplaceable products in any crisis. Number 8. Portable water filter. In any disaster, clean drinking water becomes a top priority, and it's one of the first resources to disappear. The problem isn't just scarcity, it's safety. Even if you find water from streams, ponds, or storage tanks, it could be contaminated with bacteria, parasites, or chemicals. That's why a portable water filter is one of the smartest and most valuable products you can own before the next shortage hits. Unlike bottled water, which can run out quickly, a high-quality portable filter can process hundreds or even thousands of liters, turning unsafe water into something you can drink with confidence. During extended power outages or supply chain disruptions, this single tool can mean the difference between staying hydrated and falling dangerously ill. In a crisis, having a portable water filter also makes you self-reliant. While others are lining up at distribution points or fighting over the last case of bottled water, you can walk to the nearest water source, a river, rain barrel, or even a hotel fountain, and safely fill your bottles. This independence is why water filters become such high-demand barter items in a collapse scenario. People will trade food, fuel, or even cash for something that guarantees their family's survival. Look for filters that remove bacteria, protozoa, and ideally some chemical contaminants. Straw-style filters are ultra-portable, while pump or gravity-fed systems work best for families. And don't forget to store extra replacement cartridges, since their lifespan depends on how much you filter. When clean water is gone, nothing else matters. You can survive weeks without food, but only days without water. A portable water filter ensures you're not dependent on fragile supply chains or risky, unverified sources. It's compact, lightweight, and could save your life when the taps run dry. When you think about it, every single product we just talked about isn't just about convenience, it's about control. Control over your safety, your comfort, and your survival when the rest of the world is scrambling. In every major crisis we've seen, from supply shortages to natural disasters, it's the people who prepare in advance that come out ahead. Not because they're lucky, but because they made choices when they still had the chance. Right now, these items are easy to get, affordable, and sitting on store shelves. But once the next shortage wave hits, they'll vanish overnight, and you'll either have them or you'll be wishing you did. That's the hard truth no one likes to admit. The question is, will you be ready, or will you be left hoping someone else comes to save you? If you found even one idea here that made you think, I should probably grab that now, then you're already ahead of most people. But this is just the start. On this channel, we cover the exact products, tips, and insider information that can keep you and your family safe, no matter what's coming next. So don't wait until it's too late. Hit that subscribe button right now, turn on notifications, and join a community of people who refuse to be caught off guard. Because when the shelves go empty and the chaos starts, you'll want to be one of the few who can say, I was ready.